those of you I haven't met, my name is Stan Elson. I'm an adjunct instructor for Rutgers. What we're going to be doing today is looking at cross-selling, upselling, suggestive selling, add-on selling, value-based selling, a lot of different names for the same thing. And one of the things that I always do is make sure people in the audience are friendly and get to know each other a little. So I'm going to ask you very briefly to address the following. What's your name? What's your company? Your title or function? The product your company sells? And what's a potential cross-sell? We only have 15 minutes, so I'm not going to tell you too much about my background, except that I have significant experience in financial services, in healthcare, and working with supermarkets as well. What's cross-selling? I'm just going to really say it's an add-on. So if I buy a suit and the salesman says, you know, we have some number of ties that would look good, then I might buy that. As a consumer, when have you been cross-sold? When would it be a positive or negative experience? Normally what I would do is I divide you up into groups. I'm just going to ask someone now, one example when you've had a good experience as a customer yourself being cross-sold. Okay?
Yeah. In our business, I see it a lot, like if you're going for a cup of coffee, they'll ask you to one off.
Great. Thank you very much, Dave. And when have you had a bad experience being cross-sold? Felt like you were being pushed? And I said, all I want is the following, mention the two things. Would you like some soda? No, that's all I want. Would you like a dessert? No, that's all I want. Would you like soda? No, that's all I want. How about some knife and fork? Okay. And they, in a sense, cross-sold me. And that was it. For the people that I've worked with before, you know that the training is very, very interactive. So what I'm going to do is very briefly, I'm going to ask three people, Nicole, 1, 2, 3, to just come to this, stand up, come to the flip chart. And Kevin, if you work with Lori and with Sandra and go to this flip chart, and Sharon, you can join that group in this flip chart. Encapsulized summary, the benefits of cross-selling, and we started to deal with that, and we would delve into that a little more. The various stages of the sales process, going all the way from opening to closing, once you've closed on that item, then moving into cross-sell. Tips and techniques for cross-selling. Usually what happens is people don't have classes in this. I shouldn't say that. A lot of times people don't have classes in this. They're not really sure how to do it. And you don't want to throw a product at someone. Like, why don't you buy this? So there are more subtle ways to do it. The importance of product knowledge as a base. Lori, I heard you mention you might have 100,000 products. So you've got to know at least some of them pretty well. And then also, because everyone hates to role play, we do action scenarios, where what we do is we figure out a scenario and then you try to cross-sell. Okay? And then I would normally ask, what else, what other objectives or other goals do you have in the workshop? Okay? On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how would you rate your effectiveness at cross-selling? What happens in training stays in training. Let me briefly, and normally I give out a secret ballot because people are more comfortably, how would you rate the sales training effectiveness of your organization from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest? Okay, so probably there definitely is room for improvement, and one of the things about cross-selling, it's not difficult if the switch is turned on. So a lot of the training really is stressing the benefits and why it helps customers, because I find people want to help customers, and also how to overcome the challenges. So we normally have a long list of challenges, and at the end of the workshop, we're going to address this. How do you overcome them so people feel comfortable? And then normally what we would do is break up into groups, and also in order to get people to buy in, if I was 10 to 15 or 25% even more effective at sales training, how would that benefit me personally? More money. As my former boss said when I worked in the brokerage business training stockbrokers, nothing happens till someone sells something. So people need to realize that in a lot of times promotions are not in a supermarket, can you slice the cheese the thinnest? In a bank, are you the best operationally? But rather, do you have a sales focus? So I really want to get people to buy in. People are concerned about themselves, and this proves it. Study by Yale University, the #1 persuasive word in the English language is the word you. Someone went out with a salesperson went out with a customer and decided at lunch, let me test this out. So every time the customer said something he could agree with, he said, you're right. It's sunny out today. You're right. It's really hot. You're right. He said it 90 times, and the customer said to him, you know what, Jerry? That was the best lunch I ever had. Okay. Who? Now, we've worked only a little bit. Normally, this might be the second hour. Now, don't go home and try this on your spouse or significant other. Because they're going to go, what hit you? You know, what happened to you? Okay. Normally, we'd be at about the second hour now, and we know each other and trust each other, but I'm going to ask you to trust us. Someone have a watch we can borrow. We're going to pass it around. Okay. Okay, you're taking yours off. Thank you. Pass it to Nicole, if you would. And Nicole, what I'd like you to do, and this bridges into features and benefits. Feature tells you something about the watch. It's a product fact like color, weight, etc. Tell us a feature of the watch.
It's petite.
Okay, very good. Kevin, one more feature.
It has bling bling all around the side.
Great, okay. Pass it over. And a benefit is what the customer gets out of it. It's like a bonus to the customer. So what's the bonus?
It's very dressy.
Okay, great. And one more feature and benefit?
Now you put the pressure on me, we went to a big one. It is my size.
Okay. Fabulous. All right. Now, normally what I would do is now you do a feature and a benefit connected together. In the interest of time, I'm going to ask you please to give the watch back. Okay. Why did you buy the watch?
Me?
Yeah.
I actually bought it because it matches all my jewelry. It's got silver, gold, and diamonds.
Okay. Now, that did come up in our conversation. What would it have helped to know before we presented our features and benefits?
Why you should go ahead?
Yeah, absolutely. So what were you looking for? What did you need? In terms of features, and normally I would do this in groups. Features describe the product. Features are product focused. Benefits explain what it's in it for the customer, and benefits are customer focused. Okay. How are we doing on time? Okay, next, very briefly, 30 seconds. Next would be a fill-in. Feature and benefits statement should be related to the customer's needs. Last one, price raise is a feature. Here's how we cross-sell. There are some prompts here where people would fill in. For instance, since if you were selling life insurance, cross-selling it, since you just had twins, you might want to consider evaluating your life insurance just to see if you have enough coverage. So it's a really soft cross-sell.